Welcome to another episode of Who Are You and What Do You Do? I'm Andrea Ionetti and I'll be your host. Our next guest is extremely interesting here. Wait till you see. We've got a show for you. A paramedic turned singer-songwriter. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the show. I am so pleased to announce what?
Are you in a booster seat?
Actually, okay. I got called out. Yeah, I had to put a couple of little cushions.
A couple?
So I'm 5'0", right? What can I say? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, here we are, everyone. With
Do you have to have a child safety seat too when you go out?
Yeah, that's another episode for the next episode. We're here with Dave Pratt, and a paramedic turned singer-songwriter, originally from Maine and had 25 years on the beat. So, Dave, can you tell us, how did you go from paramedic to singer-songwriter?
Well, it's actually funny. I actually went from singer to paramedic back. So, you know, 19, 20 years old, I was supposed to go to Nashville and sign with a record company. And instead, I chased a girl to Florida instead of going to Nashville. And that lasted about 6 months. Came back home, went to school, got my paramedic, and I got to achieve my childhood dream. My favorite show when I was a kid was Emergency with Joni and Roy. And I said, that's what I'm going to be, and I was.
I remember that show.
Yeah.
I remember that. I didn't know the names. You still remember the names?
Very well.
That's awesome.
So,
and then, so 25 years. So did you do some gigs on the side? Was it, you didn't put the singing away for?
It became a hobby.
A hobby, yeah.
It became a hobby, and I had a bunch of friends that were in bands. So like we go out to like the dance halls and stuff like that, because back when we were younger, every town had a dance hall. Saturday night dance, everybody went out, and I'd constantly get called up on the stage to do 2 or 3 with the band or whatever, and that was about the extent of it. I never really thought about it as a career, and because I was my own worst critic.
And did you have anyone behind you that was trying to give you encouragement and push you, inspire you to sing and write songs?
Not through my younger years, because once my parents saw my calling to be a firefighter paramedic, they saw how good I was at it. They just, let me have at it, and I loved it. I had a great career. I tell everybody, I've never had a real job, technically, because my grandfather told me, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
And I agree 100%. That is true, because you do what you love, and it's not a job, because you're doing it with passion. And so you found a way somehow, and I don't know, but if I'm not mistaken, you were supposed to go up for a vacation, Christmas, and celebrate with your dad and your little boy and other family. And then something took a turn up there that you didn't expect and led you to this. So could you tell us what happened? What was the catalyst?
Well, all my family still lives in Maine, and children and relatives, everything else. And so I went up for Christmas, and right after Christmas, I was supposed to take my dad down for an echocardiogram, and he didn't make the echocardiogram because he had a heart attack that morning. And we had actually just picked up his nitro and all that stuff, and luckily, being a former paramedic, I'm doing vitals. I'm on the phone with 911. I'm giving him his nitro. I'm giving his aspirin. I'm actually treating him, just like he was a regular patient. And then the medic showed up and transported him off, and he ended up at Maine Med for a week or so, and ended up with 2 valves and a couple of stents and.
Wow. So your time obviously got extended. So what started off as going up for a joyful holiday, it turned into this. And then, but oddly enough, that incident, the heart attack, would enable you at that point to sit down, get still and quiet long enough to be able to get serious about your songwriting. So how did that part happen?
So. Me and my best friend Ron, he also plays drums for me, and so we've been trying to get this country thing going now for a couple of years, and we back and forth, and we talk all the time. Well, he overheard a conversation with us. As soon as we get back, we got to do this and the other thing.
Your dad overheard?
My dad. Oh yeah, so my dad
Overheard.
overhears me, and so I got off the phone with Ron, and he's like, "You're still singing this, other people's music?" And I'm like, "Who else am I supposed to sing? Write your own."
And so your dad said this. He said, okay.
My dad's one of those people that when he speaks, you listen.
Like E.F. Hutton.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. And
All right.
so I'm like, well, I can't write. I mean, who's gonna, because I've had tried writing over the years, and I always felt like I was ripping somebody off. And so he literally, just like a drill sergeant, sit down and write something. Sir, yes, sir. So I wrote something, and he's like, "Bad. Do it again. Write something else. Do it again. Do it again." And then my stay in Maine was in 2 months, and in 2 months I wrote 15 songs for this new album.
Wow. And I'll tell you, I was going down through some of the names of the songs, and I came across a couple. I got to tell you, I felt it. I mean, I felt your pain. And one of them was Chains of Poison. And is that on your first album here?
That was actually the second single we released.
And what was the inspiration behind Chains of Poison?
Well, I think the song pretty much is for it all. I mean, pretty much everybody in this day and age has at least one person in their family that's struggling with some kind of an addiction. Mm-hmm. And I'm just as guilty as the next person. I mean, I've had my demons, my wife had her demons, and, and I'm still battling my demons, and
so wonder you could feel. I mean, it was really, I mean, so this, just like a lot of country songs, so you're really living out these songs, in Echoes of Absence. I'm imagining you're a widow. Widower, and so that was missing your wife.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what that song's about. It's,
okay.
And then when you walk, especially when I go to Maine to visit family, that's where we met, and our relationship kicked off. And it's the places where we used to go. It just feels cold. You just don't want to go anywhere. It's remember.
So in your heart, you feel like this echo of her absence.
Well, if you think of it being an empty house,
right?
Everybody's been in an empty house. You go and move an apartment or whatever, and you speak.
And that reminds me of that George Jones song. What is that?
Who's Gonna Fill Them Shoes?
The Grand Tour.
Oh, yeah, that's a great song.
Where everything is empty, and him and Tammy. I still, I know I have to accept it, but I just can't accept that. I mean, it was George and Tammy. I wanted that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted, when I heard they were not a couple, I couldn't accept that, really. But there was another song that I came across, and it just teared me up. Mm-hmm. It was one that you had written with your little boy.
So it was more, so Dalton is 7 years old. And he's a pistol. He really is. I feel for my in-laws, because he lives with my in-laws up in Maine, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, "That's me," and I can see it coming, and
and you're like, "Let me pray for the grandkids."
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And in their defense, I mean, he is a wonderful, wonderful child. They have done such an amazing job with him. But anyway, he did something good, and his Mimi made this little card for him and had a little saying in it. And
a card?
A card, yes. She made a card, and she colored it up and everything, and he has it sitting on his keyboard. And keyboard, like piano keyboard, not like a computer. Can we write it, can we make this into a song? And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, probably could. And it would take a while. And so I was like, do you want to write a song about, how much you love Mimi and Grandpa? Yeah, can we do that? And so we started, and I want to say we had 6 or 7 different revisions before we actually had one that we were both proud of, and that he would go and play for Mimi and Grandpa. And he wrote probably 80% of the lyrics.
Wow.
I wrote a little bit of the hooks to kind of move into the next,
And
part
how
of it.
old is Dalton?
7 years old.
7 years old. Listen,
Yeah.
we may have like father, like son. This
Yeah.
he could be the next. So we'll have to be looking for
Yeah.
Dalton
I mean,
in the future.
I was gonna say, some of the lyrics don't make sense, but everybody got to remember this was pretty much written by a 7-year-old boy telling how much he loves Mimi and Grandpa.
And that's what touched me, and that's the authenticity here that I felt. When you said you were going to leave, just as it was amazing because that came from his little
sure
heart.
did.
And a couple words here and there we can deal with that, and that is the cutest thing.
Yeah. And he wanted and because originally we wrote it just so we could write it for Mimi and Grandpa. And we were very proud of it, and I'm very proud that he wrote that song pretty much all by himself. I mean, like I said, I added the little hooks, and then I mixed it and mastered it and all that stuff with the music. But I mean, the lyrics pretty much all his. And he actually wanted to publish it and put it out, and so we actually put it out, and it's part of the stuff that just got released. So
yeah, and we're going to be talking about the publishing of the songs. Right now, we're going to go to a break, and we'll be back again with Dave Pratt in just a moment. And we're back with Dave Pratt, singer, songwriter, up and coming country star here, I think, in the make. And he's a little shy. He's got his glasses on. So, well, actually, is that because your future's so bright you got to wear shades?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, he's a little shy. And ladies, we'll talk about something in a minute here. But I heard, is it a vicious rumor or is it true that you actually have a very special tour bus? Can you tell us about that?
I can, and I do. Well, I own it. Right now I don't have it at home because it's been a thorn in my side since I bought it, but I'm glad I got it. So we're going to take the show on the road at some point, and we need a bus to haul the band in. And you dig around online, you can find about anything. And I found this beautiful mid-'80s Prevost tour bus. And because I've always loved those, because it's all stainless steel, and I always loved the rivets, and these are the buses that my heroes rolled in on when we were kids.
Right.
And so doing a bit of research on the bus, come to find out when that bus was brand new, it was actually bought by Reba McEntire.
The Reba McEntire?
The Reba McEntire,
The
yes.
Reba McEntire.
Yes.
Okay, and so, well then, wait a minute. Tell me then, are you going to name your bus Fancy?
No, because that already let me down.
He You gave her a chance.
I
and
gave
Shelley
it
let
a
him
chance.
down.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? This bus literally stranded you?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like anything. You give anything a little bit of age, you know, and it doesn't exercise very often. You take it to go to the gym. It's going to get mad, and it did.
You don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, and it did. And we ended up on the side of I-95. And
In Florida.
no, we actually made it back. No, we spent 5 days in Florida getting this thing fixed.
Oh.
And I made it a point that no stick unturned. I want every nook and cranny. If it needs to be fixed, you fix it now.
Wow.
And they gave us the seal of approval, and we didn't even make it home.
Oh my God. Well, I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
if that bus could talk, can you imagine the times and the songs that may have been written in that bus?
Yeah.
And that right there, the whole energy of that, the whole spirit of that is great. And how do you know how many more may
I don't
be
know,
written
but
in
the
that
idea
bus?
that my room is where Reba's used to be is just, I mean, being a guy, and every guy in America can relate to me. So yeah.
There's that too, right?
Yeah.
She's a little easy on the eyes, right?
She's a lot easier. Yeah.
And I'm sure that speaking of echoes, you know, a song, a lot of men are echoing that, you know.
Yeah.
Reba, she's held up pretty well over the years here, I'll tell you.
Amazing woman.
And I got to ask this question because I'm sure everyone wants to know, where can they find these incredible songs on your album?
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
So right now it's everything's streaming. I signed on with a distributor in a small independent record company.
Mm-hmm.
And they have done amazing. They after they take it and they remaster it for, you know, so it fits all these guys' platforms. And,
right.
Because I don't know how to do any of that stuff. And they send it to all the streaming platforms around the world.
Wow. So are you talking like Amazon, Boomplay, iHeart?
Yeah.
Wow. And how many platforms exactly did you say?
62 is at this point.
62.
62 around the world, yeah.
Wow. And more to come. And
More to come.
Because
more to come.
that
And like
is...
I said, matter of fact, I just signed with my distributor to allow my music to actually go to TouchTunes. So
is that right?
Yeah, so it's going to be going to the jukeboxes here at some point. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. Myrtle Beach's own up-and-coming country star, Dave Pratt, right here.
A little star, but I'm up and coming, all right.
Well, I'll tell you, and it's something to be proud of. I mean, you know, you wrote these by yourself with
did.
the inspiration
I did.
of your dad and the encouragement, you know, and how great is that? And then we don't know the next generation, so we'll be watching out for Dalton.
Yeah.
So when then do you plan on getting the show on the road? You did say that you're going to redo a couple songs.
Yeah. So we're getting ready to. Well, right now I'm in the market for a lead guitar player, and you know, my drummer keeps telling me I got to stop firing him. I said, well, find me one that can, you know, play like Brett Mason. I won't fire him. But anyway.
There you go, Brett Mason. Okay.
Yeah, but see, I'm a perfectionist, and you know, and I'm not going to take pardon the expression, I'm not going to take a half-ass show on the road. Because your first impression is everything. And if you go out there and deliver a bad product,
that's right. You don't get a second chance to make a good impression. Nobody's going to sign you. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. So understandable. So you do have plans, and this is the bus, and hopefully Fancy will get fixed, and
it'll be fixed. It just
take it on the road.
Yeah.
And so and now I have to ask, because there was a song, I think it said "Daddy is single again."
Yeah.
Okay, so is that your way of letting the ladies out there know that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Well, because that song I wrote actually for my dad's single again. My mom died back in October, and and I brought him with me to South Carolina after his heart attack, so he didn't have to shovel snow anymore. So.
Oh, how cool!
So I
is
said, "Look out, Daddy's single again." So
Daddy's single again after how many years?
41.
41 years.
Yeah.
Oh my, that's a lifetime right there. So we have, wow. So he's here in Myrtle Beach, everyone. So if you need to know. And how old is your dad?
He just turned 74 this past weekend.
Well, if anybody wants to get with...
because I had the means to do so, and I think every son that loves his father it can do this is really cool. So we've been bouncing back and forth because I'm having my wife's Camaro redone. And he kept riding over with the body shop, and he kept eyeballing a car that was over there. And so for his birthday, I actually bought him a 1965 Galaxie 500. So,
wow.
Yeah.
How sweet is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
So,
that is incredible.
Yep.
And much more. I mean, he'll be able to do so much more. I feel that it's happening.
Yeah,
It's exciting, the energy.
And I have my dad to thank for every bit of it, because if it wasn't for him just going, sit your ass down and write something, I'd never done it. I wouldn't even have thought.
Look at that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have, in a million years, I never thought that something I wrote would just explode like
Well,
this.
your dad obviously saw the talent
he's my
in
biggest
you
fan.
and believed in you, and sometimes, you know,
My wife
that's
was
great.
my wife, when she was alive, was the same way. They would, I mean, just, you know, you can do this. I mean, no, I can.
And they see in you what sometimes you can't, and that's what love is all about.
Yep.
Being able to see something that others, you know, and that's awesome. So, what is it if we were to, if you had right here, you have an opportunity to tell everyone out there, what is it that you want everyone to know about Dave Pratt? Who is Dave?
Honestly, I'm just a regular person that apparently got some talent. And listen to your parents when they give you suggestions and your ideas, because I listened to my dad and he told me to write some music, and I sat down and wrote it, and here we are.
Here we are.
So,
And one of the platforms, it's gone over 2 million.
2.6 million.
2.6 million.
And so it went from 100,000 to 2.6 million in 4 days. And to put this in perspective, we released this album back at the end of February. And back when I was a kid, they didn't know what streaming was. You had to actually go get the album and get the single and buy the single.
Well, I know what it was. I came from Vermont.
I know.
So we would go down by the stream, you know, and clear water and fish.
Right,
and
but if you
get hypothermia.
put it in perspective, this new self-titled album went double platinum in less than a month.
Well, that sounds unheard of. I mean, I've never heard of such a thing. I don't know.
I didn't think I would even have one person listen and think it was good. So.
And I want to say that anybody out there that thinks that dreams do not come true, I think that we're right here witnessing a dream in the make. And I just want to thank you so much for coming and talking with us. I look forward to what's going on in the future, and we'll see more of him. He's going to be coming with the band and have some more things. So I just want to say, listen, I'm there with you. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Thanks, everyone. And until next time, I'm Andrea Ionetti with Who Are You and What Do You Do? Welcome to Wingding. With a variety of services to offer, we are an end-to-end one-stop shop for digital media production and distribution. Our company originated in podcasting, video production, and digital marketing space, affording us a solid background for growing your brand through media distribution. Contact us at wingding.tv so we can do what we do for you.